I want to talk about entrepreneurship and failure and use the example of the Reciprocity Project, which I've been building for a long time, as ultimately a giant failure, but then hopefully give you a lesson to sort of think about in terms of how to deal with entrepreneurship and failure itself. So when I started the Reciprocity Project, if you don't know, that was about 6 years ago at this moment. It was supposed to be this platform so that people can get help with their writing. And so other people would encourage others to get help with their writing. And I've been doing this and building this for a long time. I also have a very large YouTube channel. You can look at that with thousands of videos that I've uploaded over time. I'm a professor of innovation. And when I started doing this, I thought it was going to be a way to get out and get my student loans done. I had a lot of school debt, or some school debt, not a lot compared to a lot of people, but some school debt. And the goal was to do something entrepreneurial because I teach entrepreneurship and innovation, and to keep working at that and build something so that I can build some wealth to get out of debt quicker. And I also thought it would be very helpful for my tenure case because I was a professor of innovation to create something that was innovative and entrepreneurial. And ultimately, all of these situations, the sort of preconceived notions that I have, my expectations, it ultimately was a failure. It did not help my tenure case. In fact, it probably harmed it because it looked like I was doing things that were not research oriented. In fact, it probably greatly harmed it. It also didn't help in terms of making any sort of monetary value. I've lost tens of thousands, probably close to $100,000 on this. At least that's not including my time and effort that I've put into it. That's like real dollars. It's been ultimately a giant flop in a lot of different ways. And if you sort of check boxes for standard ways to think about entrepreneurship, it's been a giant flop. And here is a person that teaches and builds and thinks about entrepreneurship. My view of entrepreneurship has greatly changed since I've actually done this. And so my view now is that entrepreneurship is actually about dealing with failure. Entrepreneurship is really about the number of times that you actually fail. And if you actually look at entrepreneurs, most of them will actually experience a great deal of failure along the way. And it's not about, the getting things right. The stories that are told, it's the 1 in 1,000 times that you hear. It's the one out of 1,000 other people that have failed that you hear that have tried something. In fact, it's probably even worse than that by the time you sort of calculate the number of ideas that people have done. And your odds of actually succeeding with entrepreneurship are unbelievably terrible. And so what do you have to do? What is it that you have to think about to actually get through this? And ultimately, I think you can't think about entrepreneurship in terms of monetary value and creating monetary value. I think what you have to do is think about it as creating something for yourself where you are loving yourself more because of the creation of this thing. And now it becomes very difficult as it grows and develops, and it becomes something of monetary value because you have to remove yourself from that situation and sort of balance those two. But you have to think of it as like something that you don't really care if it succeeds or wins at all. And you're doing it because of something else, that there is some burning passion point or something that is more important than the sort of monetary value or any sort of success metric that is conventional in this world that you might think about. And if it does create something and creates value and does something outside of that, you're just doing this because this is important to you, then that is wonderful. But most things you'll see if you start doing things in this world and you actually start trying and you actually start acting on things, you realize that most things actually don't create a lot of value. There's a lot of dead ends. Our notions of, and I'm deeply thoughtful about this, our notions of sort of success and what it means to do well in this world are vastly different from the actual reality of what things actually happen and how things are handled. Just go on any YouTube show and they'll talk about how the sort of things have blown up and all the sort of success that you have. And you'll realize that that is not the truth. The truth is you do things because it's just fun. And if something happens, if there's a moment where things change, then that is wonderful. But in actuality, that's not what happens. You're just doing it because you're enjoying the process. Now, if you just go through it and you just start thinking about, hey, how can I just have fun with myself? How can I release the sort of feelings of being successful and do things where I'm just having fun and enjoying the process and bringing people along on this. Like, look at this. It's beautiful here. Bringing the story along with that, I think you'll actually go along a lot further and not worry about being successful with any entrepreneurial venture. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.